Good afternoon, my lovely things. Welcome back to the cavern. I'm Kasara, the host of the channel, for those of you that don't know me. I hope you all are well and enjoying your day so far. I decided to move the true crime to this afternoon and save my review of The Exorcist Believer to tonight, since that's typically when I do my reviews. And it's fitting since horror movies are the best at night when you're alone. Today's case will finish up the arson theme for the month and will tie into next month's theme, which is killer kids, or children that commit crime. Extreme crime. It is a controversial theme, especially since I might be delving into shootings. So it's always controversial when kids are involved in extreme crimes, especially violent crimes. This one is no different. The image behind me are the victims for this really shocking and tragic case. It actually occurred in 2019 near Peoria, Illinois. I apologize for the name, because I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. On April 6th, a trailer home fire broke out. By the time the firefighters arrived, 6 minutes later, the home was already engulfed in flames. The fire killed 1-year-old Ariel Wall, her brother Damien Wall, and cousin Rose Elwood. Both were age 2. Ariel and Damien's father, Jason Wall, was 34, and the children's great-grandmother, Catherine Murray, aged 69, were all taken in this fire. Most of the victims were sleeping when the fire broke out, and unfortunately they suffered from smoke inhalation, and that's what caused their deaths. Jason Wall's fiancée, Katrina Wall, age 27, and her son from a previous relationship, Kyle Elwood, aged 8 at the time of the fire, managed to escape. Neighbor Anna Marie Siebert said at the time of the fire, screams could be heard coming from the burning property, but the flames were too intense for bystanders to try and rescue the trapped residents, unfortunately. Jason Wall was a U.S. Army vet who served several tours of duty abroad, including Korea, Afghanistan, and Iraq. After retiring from the military, Jason worked as a truck driver, devoting his free time to hunting and spending time with his fiancée and their children. Catherine Murray was a homemaker and artist, enjoying drawing and sewing. Her other hobbies included fishing, cooking, and camping, and they say she was an amazing grandmother. Kyle intentionally set the fire, which was shocking, especially given his age of only 8 years old. However, he faced 5 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of arson, and 1 count of aggravated arson. Kyle was found unfit to stand trial. Not really surprising, given his age. I'm not really surprised that he didn't understand the legal terms and the charges being held against him, or even the consequences of his actions. If convicted, Kyle faces a maximum of 5 years probation, but not past the age of 21. He also won't face jail time, but will most likely go through counseling and therapy, which is definitely what he needs. Kyle's mother, Katrina, has spoken out in defense of her son, insisting he isn't a monster as others are making him out to be. Katrina stated, "I stood at the window and I told my kids I was sorry I couldn't save them. Mommy was right here and I loved them." So at least hopefully they heard that. "I told Jason I loved him and something told me that they're gone." End quotes. She went on to state how people make mistakes, and that's what this was. Sure, it was a horrible tragedy, but it's still not something to throw his life away over, according to her. Katrina's sister, Samantha Elwood, the mother of 2-year-old Rose Elwood, felt much differently. Samantha felt that he should go somewhere until he's of legal age to go to juvie, and from there go to juvie, then prison, because at the end of the day, whether he meant to or not, he knew what fire did. Helen Wall, the mother of Jason and John Wall, age 72, disclosed Kyle's behavior when they all lived in a weathered bungalow in East Peoria, which was owned by Helen. She stated that she had issues with Kyle when he lived in the home with her and the others. He often would get into mischief, repeatedly clogging toilets to see what would happen and biting his mother, among other things. He didn't treat his mother very kindly. Helen said it seemed like jealousy after the births of his half-siblings. He couldn't stand someone else being fed. He didn't understand the meaning of right and wrong. Things like that. John Wall, the brother of Jason Wall, felt that Kyle liked to cause trouble. He remembered a time when Kyle messed around with a gas furnace, played with the pilot light until it went out. It's believed that Kyle set fires before the trailer home as well. Testimonies from family members indicated Kyle was in the vicinity of 3 other fires, both past and after the fire in Peoria, because he actually was living with family members after the whole event occurred. His aunt stated that Kyle had admitted to setting fire to a chair, but denied the other 2 fires. However, while he was visiting a home in Peoria with 5 people inside in September of 2021, there was evidence Kyle was responsible for a fire set there. After the fire was discovered, he blamed an autistic child living within the home. The judge in his ruling acknowledged the similarities between the circumstances of the multiple fires and felt that Kyle's denials and attempts to cover up the fires showed his understandings of the wrongfulness of his conduct. So he did know it was wrong. Katrina Elwood stated that her son had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, ADHD, and bipolar disorder. Illinois state law allows up to 5 years of for Kyle, to be restored to mental fitness on the murder charges, which means the deadline for the process is July 9th, 2026. The standard for mental fitness is the defendant's ability to understand the charges and legal process, along with the ability to assist one's lawyer with the defense, which he can't do right now. He's too young. So I'm in agreement with that. Katrina's parental rights were stripped from her, and Kyle was handed over to living relatives, hence how that fire broke out in 2021, until a verdict on his sentence is made. That's where he's going to be. Part of why her parental rights were taken, I believe, is because she hid anything that could be used by her son to start a fire. She tried to cover it up, basically. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think he should receive a harsh penalty, or do you agree with the courts? What do you think about Kyle setting other fires prior to April 6th and after? Why do you think he started the fire? And others? To me, I think part of why he did it was, of course, anger. He wanted revenge. He was angry at his mother. He was angry at his siblings. He was pissed because he wasn't the focus anymore. Because, well, there's other young children in the house who need more attention, unfortunately. That's what happens. This is a controversial case because of the age of the perpetrator. Psychology states that children are not capable of understanding or appreciating the consequences of their actions. Developmentally, children cannot be responsible for an illegal offense or for purposeful murder or intentional kills, according to psychology. The mind is not developed enough. They're impulsive without an understanding of life or death. A psychologist, Jeff Temple, stated that kids do stupid things all the time and don't really think about the consequences. It could have been as terrible as this was that he wanted to see what it was like to see something burn down, even if he knew someone was in it. My guess is he doesn't understand the nature of consequences and actions. Even if he thought someone was going to burn, he probably didn't have the sense of permanence that they weren't going to come back, end quotes. To me, stating that is basically saying boys will be boys, that kind of statement. You're kind of just belittling it and not seeing this as such a serious offense, in my opinion. I think this is incredibly serious, and I think he did know what he was doing, especially since he started so many fires beforehand. This kid had a draw to fire, and I don't think he cared. His mom didn't punish him for his actions, which isn't going to teach him that there's consequences for your actions, or even teach empathy for others. I'm not sure what I think on this case, in terms of the verdict. Part of me wants to say that Kyle knew what he was doing, but at the same time, I'm not so sure. And like I said, he knew what fire did. He knew that he probably was getting rid of them. So I'll have my mother all to myself. I won't have to fight for her attention, her affections. No one will punish me again. Maybe that's what happened. We don't know. He could have been abused. We have no idea, what happened within the home that made him go to this extreme. I do think he needs extensive therapy and possibly psychological help. I don't know if he would benefit in a home for, the psychological treatment or not. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Not an easy case for sure. This is a very difficult one. I don't know how I would rule if I was a judge in this one. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Later tonight I'll be reviewing the Exorcist Believer film. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. If you want to check out the movie, it's available, I believe, on Peacock. I think so. I'll let you know in the description if you want to check that out. And I'll also leave links to this case in the description as well, so you can kind of look into everything that was stated and what people are thinking with this. I know some people aren't happy with the ruling. They found it too harsh. Since he was only 8 when this happened. So now he's probably, let's see, so 2019 he was 8. That was about 5 years ago, so it's about 13 now. Depending on when he was born. So, I don't know. Maybe now he has a better grip of what happened and what he did. I don't know. Only time will tell. But enjoy your weekend and take care until next time. Bye, everyone!